Hi, trainers. Poke Dad here, along with the Dancing Bear at first base.
KK Shiv 128.
Great beast in his natural habitat.
Right.
Today on Pokemon Deck Check, got a lot of information to get out there to you. The next regional is less than a week away, and so we're going to do our best to get you prepared for the junior meta. So, sponsor real quick.
Ink Gaming, your answer to all your customizable tabletop gaming needs.
Did the art, check out the link in the description. Now, on to it. What we learned from Brazil Intercontinental is the juniors top 8 consisted of, what you got, Dancing Bear?
Malamar, there are 3 of them. Zoroark, there was just one of them. 1 Sceptile, 2 Blaziphon, and then 1 Passimian Coco.
Okay, looking back to kind of our tier list, how do you think we predicted the junior meta?
I said that we were pretty close. We were just off about the Passimian Coco. We didn't expect that.
I think no one really was, but for the most part, we definitely predicted Party Balloon to be super popular. And we also picked Malamar to be the safest play, which there's 3 more than any other deck that made the top 8. So we were correct on that, right?
Yeah.
Malamar, the safe play. People listened, they played it. And then what's funny is our 2 picks to win it make an appearance right here, don't they?
They do. That would be Sceptile and Zoroark Lycanroc.
Indeed. You can build the Zoroark Lycanroc deck to beat Giratina and Party Balloon fairly easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we predicted Zoroark to win. And this is all courtesy of Chrissy Johnson. So shout out to her for the information on the top 8. So we much appreciate it. So we picked, and her son happens to be playing Zoroark. The other United States kiddo is playing Malamar. So the Sceptile deck is interesting because remember we had it as a really good pick too.
I thought that if I was going to the tournament, then I would play Sceptile because I think the matchups are just super good.
I agree. You can, depending on how many max potions, you can beat Zoro Lycanroc, right?
And you can also use the first attack to hit for 90 with a choice band. And you get to pop off the DCE. If they attach another DC, then you can just one-shot them with the Leaf Cyclone attack.
Well, you bring that up. Well, with the Lurantis, you're at 80, choice band 110. So for 1 grass, you deal with Lycanroc very, very easily.
Yeah.
And you're removing DCE from Zoroark, right?
Yep.
So, with the right tech, with the 2 babies, you can auto-win the Blaziphon. Because they're playing at most one Plumera, and they're not playing a Palpat or anything else like that to get rid of it. So, yeah, they might kill one of your baby Sceptiles, but then you bring up the other. They're stuck using Naganadel, which they can't, right? Because it's Ultra Beast too.
Yeah.
And we were worried that people would tech like a Turtonator or a Reshiram GX. Not the case, was it?
No.
No. People opted for a Streamline along with energy switches to help power up the Party Balloon. So,
It was a pretty creative tech to add the energy switches to put the energy from Naganadel onto your Party Balloons. Set it up pretty quick.
yeah, it's kind of like how we have adjusted our Rayquaza Naganadel list with the energy switches. So, kind of the same concept. So, I definitely like it, right?
I do too.
Okay, so where do we go from here into Roanoke with the information we have? But real quick, let's add. Would you say the juniors follow the Masters meta fairly closely, right?
It tends to happen.
Okay, so let me move all this craziness out of the way. And let's bring in the Masters top 8. Can we see that? There we go. It's kind of hard to see. Zork Decidueye. Are juniors going to play Zork Decidueye?
No.
I seriously doubt it, right? Buzzwole, Ninetales, Lycanroc. You see the juniors, and keep in mind this was Alex Schmansky, a younger kid that maybe some of the juniors look up to.
Potentially.
So, I definitely see, maybe not with the Ninetales, but just straight Buzzwole Lycanroc with something. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? Possibly with the Zeb Striker line that we had to compensate for the Ninetales or the... obviously, Ninetales is better in the deck. But I think I think it has the same inherent advantages as like just straight Buzzwole Ninetales. You can tool it closer to it with the Lisa to grab the Diancie and the Prism Star straight away and start taking knockouts and putting a lot of pressure on Zoroark decks. If the juniors are seeing a ton of Malamar, then maybe they move to more of a Zoroark. Because of the Zoroark variants, you agree that Zoroark is probably the easiest to learn and most forgiving.
Yeah, I do think it is forgiving.
Okay, so we'll get back to that in a sec. So next one, Zoroark Control. Kids are not going to be playing that.
No, non-juniors.
Gramble, we saw how stressed Tord was playing it, and how in the top 8 matches, people playing it. So I do not see any juniors playing that, right?
No.
Okay. Zoroark Control? No.
Nope.
Party Balloon, very interesting. And this was Zach Lesage playing the Party Balloon. Blacepon. Coaches a lot of young ones. So I definitely see an uptick of Party Balloon, right? Mm-hmm. There was 2 here in the top 8. And you've got a well-known member of the community who helps out a lot of the younger trainers a lot, playing Blacepon. So keep that in mind. We'll circle back around to that. Zoroark Decidueye Ninetales.
No.
Zoroark.
Yep.
Very interesting. You've got Taylor Johnson. Excellent young trainer.
Why do you say trainer, not player?
Trainer. They're trainers. They're Pokemon trainers, no? We say, hey, trainers, welcome to Pokemon Deck Check. No?
I mean, once they get to the tournament, I guess they're players, not trainers.
They're still trainers. They're still training Pokemon, right?
No, they're playing. So
Also,
they're players.
Okay, this is breaking news right here. Dancing Bear is saying that they're not trainers.
No,
they're players.
They're not trainers anymore if they're playing. Then they're players.
But they throw their Pokemons out to fight and do battle, right?
You don't throw anything.
You throw your card right and boom.
You place it down.
No, you throw it, boom.
Maybe they'd go like this. Blacepon, go. No?
Whoa. So you're just holding your 7 cards. You grab it and then you throw it down?
You could. Maybe we start that. Maybe Pokemon Deck Check be the first people to do that. What do you think?
Oh, sure.
I like it. This is good. Ratings are going up. What? Okay, so, anywho, Zoroark. Definitely see an uptick of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the easiest Zoroark variant. It's forgiving. It deals with Malamar effectively. You can tool it to beat the Party Balloon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, let's remove... And then we think maybe Buzzwole Lycanroc. I definitely think Buzzwole Lycanroc. Kids are super comfortable with it. Attach energy, use Lisa, get the Prism Star, Diancie, Prism Star, Beast Energy. Do a ton of damage.
So you want to throw it into the mix?
So, So I definitely think Buzzwell Lycanroc has a specific place. And what do you feel about Garbodor Shrine?
We predicted to see quite a lot of it at the tournament because of how well it's been doing, but to our surprise, it's not in top 8, so we were a little off about that.
Do you think maybe that has to do with the Malamars? Uh,
I do.
because Malamar auto wins that matchup from our testing.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I think that kind of just kicked it out of the top 8.
and then Blacephalon deals with it effectively with the Naganadels also.
That too.
So they're taking a really bad matchup here on Blacephalon and the Malamar variants. They probably have a solid matchup against Zoroark.
Yeah. Sceptile is probably off because Sceptile can just one-shot them pretty easily.
They don't need a lot of items since you have the Grooviles to get whatever you need. You're not, necessarily having to rely on rare candy.
And then if you get the baby Sceptile, then Buzzwall's attacks don't do any damage. And you can also run the Stadium to heal 60 damage. So that...
Well, you could also run the Champions Festival too. Any sort of... the Sceptile can be teched or tooled. It's kind of off the... There we go. Sceptile can be tooled to beat all 3 of these, would you say?
I think it can possibly beat this Buzzwole Lycanroc. I think it can beat the Malamar. Positive that it can beat the Zoroark Lycanroc. And I would think it can beat the Blacephalon.
There's nothing here in Zoroark that can one-shot the Sceptiles. So if you play the healing, which you have Jungle Heal, that can heal everything. And if you play some max potions, I think that turns into a near walk in the park, right?
Yeah, and you can use its first attack to bump the DCs.
Yes. And its first attack, something to note, can one-shot the Lycanrocs. I don't know if we talked about that or not.
We did.
So, Sceptile against Party Balloon. Where are you at with that?
You should get the baby Sceptile, and you store energy onto it. And then Blacephalon can't do anything about it.
Yep. I agree. Auto win, especially if you play the second, right? Mm-hmm. If you play the second, or if you play like 2 rescue stretchers, right?
I'd run just 2 of the babies and then 1 rescue stretcher.
Yep, I agree. So, Giratina spread or gas can? I think a simple... You have the healing with the Stadium. Mm-hmm. But I think also if you tech in some Champions Festival... I know it's not popular, but...
That's just even more healing and...
You heal 2 damage.
Neglects the ability.
Heal 2 damage from all your Pokemon, right? Champions Festival?
I think it's just heal 1 damage.
Oh, well...
As long as you have a full bench.
I can see that being a nice little tech in the Sceptile, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Then you one-shot the Giratinas.
That's always nice.
And then if they place 4 damage on Malamar, say, then Mach Cut gets a one-shot for 1 grass. Something to think about, too.
Yeah.
So I think it effectively beats Malamar, right?
Yeah.
So where are we at with Buzzwole Lycanroc?
I like it because it has at least a decent matchup here, and then it has a really good matchup. And then I'm not too sure about the matchup with the Sceptile. Sceptiles can one-shot the Lycanrocs, Buzzwalls...
And the Baby Buzzes.
And the Baby Buzz,
130.
Yeah. But the Buzzwole GX can one-shot the Sceptiles with the GX attack and 160 Diancie, Choice Band, Kukui one-shots the Sceptile.
That's a lot.
It is. But if you run like Ninetales and stuff, then that makes it pretty easy. Because you can get the Ultra Ball to get the Coco, you can get the Choice Band, and you can get Diancie with the Stadium.
Yeah, I agree. If this has the Ninetales, then I think it has enough ways to beat Sceptile, right?
Yeah.
It has enough versatility with the Ninetales to beat Sceptile. Agreed?
I do agree.
But let's take Sceptile out of the mix. I think it's 50-50 then.
I think it Might be more than 50. Maybe 60-40 in
60-40?
Septile's favor.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Ninetales swings it to 50 or 60, 40, 55, 45, 60, 40.
With Ninetales, I do believe that it's in Buzzwole Lycanrock's favor.
Yes, I agree. But no Ninetales, I think Septile.
Because getting your pieces out with Buzzwole and Ninetales would just be really easy, and you can streamline the 130.
Okay, so we agree. Septile kind of effectively deals with these four. You can tech tool it how you want, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we at? What do you think is the next best option? You're looking to make top 8. What's the next best option?
I think Malamar might be the next best option.
So you think Malamar. You don't think people are going to counter it with a ton of Zoroark?
We've only seen
like what we saw in Masters.
One Zoroark. I mean, it's still a safe play, and it's super good.
It auto wins this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or close to it, right?
Yeah.
It effectively deals with Party Balloon, right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, and then it takes a hard L to Zoroark, which I think will have an uptick in play because of 3 Malamars in the top 8.
And then 2 Zoroarks did good.
So, and then 2 Zoroark did good in, more if you count the Zoroark controls, but like 2 variants that kiddos will play. I think Malamar might be a little risky.
I think it's a little. I mean, it's still a safe play.
Do you think more kids? Okay. Do you think more kids are gonna play Zoroark or Buzzwole?
Probably Buzzwole.
I agree with that. I think more kids will play Buzzwole than Zoroark, and with that, I have to agree with the Dancing Bear that Malamar is going to be safer. Because kids are going to play Party Balloon. There's 2 Party Balloons in the juniors. Zach Lesage got top 8 with Party Balloon and Masters. Definitely going to be an uptick in Party Balloon, right? Or at least stay as popular, right? So you don't want to fall on this matchup, right?
Right. I think all 5 of these decks are just going to get a little bit better.
Yep.
More people are going to play them.
So I agree. Malamar's still safe. Malamar's safe, especially if you want to make top 32, top 16, just to get some points, right?
Right.
Super safe. If you want to win, Septile.
Yeah, I think Septile is still the best deck in
But if you just want to get some CP, it's super consistent. It's going to set up. It's going to do what it does. Malamar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say is the next best option?
I'm between 2 decks. I'm between these 2. But I think that Zoroark Lycanroc would be the next best.
I worry about it because I think kids will gravitate more towards Buzzwole Lycanroc because it's easier. This is easier to play than that.
Yeah.
So I actually have to disagree. I think this is a better deck. Don't get me wrong. I think the Zoroark is better as a deck, but I think kids are gonna play Buzzwole Lycanroc. I really do.
I think Blastophon would be more played than Buzzwole.
I can see that because it's new, but I have to think that Buzzwole Lycanroc is safer than Party Balloon.
I mean, 2 of them in top 8.
I know, and then Zach, and then Zach coaches a bunch of juniors, so I know what you're getting at. You're probably right. There's probably going to be, popularity-wise, Party Balloon's probably going to be super popular. And, that's why Zoroark is the perfect counter to Malamar and Party Balloon. So do you think, do you think there's going to be more Malamar and Party Balloon, these 2 combined, or more Buzzwole variants?
These 2 combined.
Okay. With that answer, then I would put Zoroark here. And then your Buzzwole Lycanrocs to counter Zoroark variant.
And where do you put Blaze Fun? In front of Zoroark?
I think it's going to be one of the most popular, but I don't think it... Of what I'm looking at here, I would rather play one of these 4.
Mm-hmm.
But Party Balloon, I think, beats Buzzwole Lycanroc with the Naganados. If played properly, Party Balloon, I think, beats Buzzwole Lycanroc.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that.
So, I think it's right in here somewhere.
Yeah. So is this what we're sticking with? The Sceptile, Malamar, Zoroark, Buzzwole?
I think Sceptile, if you want to win the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
If you want CP, championship points, I think Lycanroc and Malamar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think I would be scared to play this because of how popular Malamar was in juniors.
Yeah.
But in the past, we've seen that if you look back to the North America Intercontinental and then leading into Worlds, you saw like Tord dominate with the Zoro Control, right? At the North America Intercontinental.
Yeah.
And there was all this Zoro Control. What happened? Everyone played Buzzwole Lycanroc. Everyone played Buzzwole Garb Shrine.
Mm-hmm.
Or they played Zoroark Garbodor to have a decent match up against the Buzzwoles that we're going to see an uptick, right?
Yeah.
So, seeing all the Malamars, do you think they go more Zoroark, or do you think they see Zoroark and so they go more Buzzwole? That's the catch.
Tricky question.
It is. And, for that reason, let's just eliminate all doubt and just play Sceptile. Right?
Yeah.
Because we can short up here. I think this with the healing, that's a win. Auto win, Party Balloon. And then I think you take somewhat of a bad matchup against Buzzwole Lycanroc. So you good with taking a bad matchup here? Not really a bad, just a 50-50.
I also forgot about the 30 and 30. That's going to put a lot of pressure on a setup deck like Sceptile.
Yeah.
And that's going to help set up the numbers even more on Sceptile, making them need even less resources to hit that 160 and then...
So let's just agree that this is probably by far your worst matchup, right?
Yeah.
Like, not even close. It is an Ultra Beast, so if you get the baby set up fast enough, you could definitely swing it to force them to use Lycanroc.
And then you just one-shot the Lycanroc.
I think it's a bad matchup if you don't know how to play it. If you practice this matchup, I think Sceptile could definitely get a lot closer.
Yeah.
But it's going to be hard if this has a turn 1 Lisa, grabbing the Diancie, grabbing the Beast Energy.
Hit for 80 and
80 and 30. That could be really, really bad. Because you saw whenever I was using Party Balloon chasing down your Tricos or whatever, your Grooviles. Yeah. And then this is able to one-shot them with the Beast.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty bad.
So you may have to play rare candies to kind of get into the mock cut to get rid of that Beast Energy straight away.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got. A lot of information, a little longer video than what we like, but we're trying to help you guys out as much as possible. As we get the information, we'd like to get it out there as quick as we can. Let us know in the comments if you see the junior meta going in a different direction than what we have here. This is all the information we have right now, so we're just trying to analyze it, break it down, figure out which direction the wind's going to blow for Roanoke.
Yeah.
So I still think Sceptile's the play. I'm not changing our play. Remember we said that these two were the plays, right?
Mm-hmm. I said that one.
And I said Zoroark.
And both of them are going.
And both of us spot on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you see this top 8 playing out?
I see Sceptile doing good.
Malamar versus Persimmon Cocoa. We'll do that real quick, folks. At the time of this recording, I think it's already played out, but honestly, I haven't looked. Have you?
No.
So on paper, going by on paper, Malamar, and then these are swaps. So Malamar, Persimmon. Who wins that?
I think Malamar does. I think it's more consistent. You can one-shot the Persimmons, and you can get the attackers back. You're not always constantly looking for a rescue stretcher.
I think Coco could put a lot of pressure on the bench Malamars.
I think you'd have to be smart with your 40 and 40.
Because think about it, if you're using Giratina and you're putting 4 damage counters on whatever, on a bench Malamar, so now it has 50 health. And then if it plays like the Latios, 30 and 30, so 1 Coco and then a Latios, you're taking down Malamars.
Giratina also has resistance to fighting, which can help it out in that matchup.
I think you just go hard Coco spread. And then you force him to put 4 damage counters on something.
Well, if you're going like that, then I'm just going to put my 4 damage counters on a Giratina.
Okay. Alright. So you think Malamar still edges out that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fair enough. Zoroark Taylor, who's a very good player, versus this Party Balloon here. Because I have these mixed.
I don't know how that works.
Zoroark. I mean, we tooled it. We tooled our Zoroark to beat Party Balloon and Malamar.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think Zoroark wins that.
Yeah.
You have the resistance on the Naganadels. You can one-shot them with a Devoured Field. Yeah. I think Zoroark wins.
Okay.
Then you have Malamar versus Party Balloon.
Malamar.
Yep. Sceptile versus Malamar.
Sceptile.
Yep. Okay, so now you go Malamar versus Sceptile.
Malamar. Or Sceptile, man.
Sceptile wins, okay? Zoroark versus Malamar. Zoroark, right?
Yeah.
So your final is Zoroark, Sceptile.
Sceptile.
I think so. I think Sceptile wins, folks. And it's not a coincidence. I'm telling you, we do our homework and we do our testing. Okay? We're not filling you full of baloney here. You know, if you don't believe us, refer back to the juniors tier list on what we told you, what would win, what would be safe. Safest play, Malamar. Well, you know what? There's 3. There's more Malamar than any other deck. And then we told you Zoroark is a very smart play. And sure enough, second seed going into top 8.
And I said if I was going into the tournament to try and win the whole thing, I'd play Sceptile.
There you go. So, we have been known to know exactly what we're talking about all the time. Especially Poke Dad.
Yeah.
He's always on point.
Okay. That's true.
Okay. No, in all reality, I'd usually just break down the meta and do the deck building, and Dancing Bear just goes and wins tournaments. Works out nice that way. So, all right, folks. Sorry it took so long. A lot of information. We got some more videos coming on some deck profiles. We can dive deeper into the Zoroark and Sceptile to get you more ready for Roanoke if you'd like. Let us know in the comments. And be excellent to each other.
And party on, dudes.